Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. We're holding on in Zevachim Daf Pi Aleph. Tomorrow we're going to start. I apologize. We're holding Daf Pi Base. Starting Daf Pi Aleph on the base in the Mishnah. So look the Mishnah. Hanisonim bifnim shenis arvu benisonim b'chutz. You have blood that goes inside that got mixed up with the blood that goes outside. So Yishab Chulam, you have to throw it away. According to Rabbanan, you have no solution. Nosan b'chutz, v'chozav and nosan b'fnim. He started by doing it outdoors, and then he went and did it inside. Kosher. Why? Because he did it. We hold yesh bila. We hold there's a mixture. So even though there's a problem, you're not allowed to go and put it inside. That's you don't have a concept of ruim. So if I have over here blood of inside outside, I can't bring it I can't bring it inside. But if he didn't do outside, and then he went inside and he did it, kosher. Bifnim v'chazar machutz. If he did it inside and then did it outside, in other words, he didn't ask questions. He asked he should not be taking blood inside. The blood which is outside blood, not supposed to go inside. As we'll see more in the Gemara. It's a problem. Don't bring it inside. But he did bring it inside. So if he did the outside first, he had a mixture of outside and inside, and he applied it on the outside mizbech. So now, something went outside. Then he went inside with both, and he put it in the inside. You're good. But if he did the opposite, he took the outside and the inside blood, went inside, did the inside. Once they go now outside, do the outside, calls Rabbi Akiva and says, Rabbi Akiva poisel. Akiva says puzzle. Why? Because once it went inside, it became puzzle. No, forget Ruim. Once you took it inside, the outside blood, if it goes into Beis Hamikdash, becomes puzzle before it goes to the Mizbech. Just by the fact that you walked inside Beis Hamikdash, you made a puzzle. So you take the blood, that's a mixture of inside and outside, and you go inside. What happens to the blood? It becomes puzzle. Now you can put it on the inside, but the outside you can't put it anymore. Too late. That's what it says. So if he did inside first, then the outside, Rabbi Akiva poisel, that's machlekes. Rabbi Akiva says it's puzzle. Rabbi says it's kosher. Rabbi Akiva omer kol domim shenichnasu lechaper beheichol, any blood which belongs outside that went inside. What's it in? Sulim. Chachamim say only chatos if you went inside because puzzle. But the other korbanos, if they went inside, they didn't become puzzle. It's the puzzle. The puzzle says, we'll see the Gemara. The Gemara is going to bring us the puzzle. So Shaila Zadi Dash the puzzle. Says the Gemara, why didn't Rabbi Loza argue the same way you argued in the previous Mishnah and said, right? Why did Rabbi Loza argue? Those all dish roim. So why we said in the Mishnah, we said a statement. Anything that goes inside you're stuck. Rabbi Loza should say, no, put it inside for roim, as water. What should you do? Should we do outside first? The same way you should always do the upside of the mizbeach before the down. So you also should do the inside before the outside. So I don't want to do outside first. Continues the one that Pivesa with Aleph. Give it inside and outside. Some carbonates, if you go inside, even according to Rabbanon, because possible. That's chatas and asham. Chatas and asham, if you go inside with the blood, it becomes possible. So you're not solving anything. If I go inside with the blood, I can't put it outside anymore. To do it outside first, I don't want, because you want to do an order. So even according to the blood, I don't have a solution. Good. Says Moshe Rabbi Akiva used to say that any blood that goes inside becomes possible. Now we're going to see how did Rabbi Akiva come to this. The pasuk says, the pasuk is kol chatos asher yuvu midom aloyim moed lecha b'kodesh lo yisachel b'esh tisarf. Any blood of chatos that goes into the eichel becomes possible. That's the pasuk. It says chatos. Now what the parsha is talking about? The parsha is talking about chatos. And then it says any chatos that goes inside becomes puzzle. So what the Gemara is really going to focus on why it says chatos. I know it's chatos. That's what I'm talking about. So it says the more interesting guy, the more puts it together. Mashal l'ma'adam adoyim. Give you a mashal. Talmid shemozog l'rabbo oibechami. Comes a Talmid and pours hot water to his Rebbe, to his master. Tells him the master, pour me. What should he pour you? Oh, we're dealing with hot. Meaning, that's where the mashal is a little hard to adjust. There's different discussions and they're showing what exactly is the mashal. But let's say where Rashi says it. If he basically tells him, we're dealing, right now you're pouring hot water. I told you pour me. What does it mean? Pour me the hot water that you're dealing with. But you asked, should it be hot? What should I pour you? So now that you ask, if I tell you, I'm telling you to do cold as well. I mean, it's unnecessary to say. So if I have to say something, it means to pour more. Hochanami. This possible talk about chatos. Asking vasi chatos goes on one lam where it says chatos. Elalav chaz kamin alei kol kochim. In other words, I don't need to say chatos. Why are you saying these extra words? Why are you saying it? To tell you now davka chatos everything else. Similar to the master, doesn't have to tell you it's hot. That's according to Rashi, the mashal is not exactly like a nimshal. Because in the mashal, the Rebbe tells him, why I don't have to tell you? Of course it's hot. So now that you ask, will be cold as well. In the pasuk, it says chatos. It doesn't say cold. So you have to understand exactly the comparison of the mashal to the nimshal. But the main point of the mashal, at least in the Pashup Pshat Gemara, is I'm telling you something which I don't need to tell you. Matgo avuna brede v'shua michti ischabu kol kochim gavim mizbeach liyan meriko v'shtifo. All the kochim, you have a din of meriko shtifo. Meriko shtifo we're going to see later in the Masechta. It means you have to wash the kli inside and outside. Every time you want to use it, do meriko shtifo. Chatos goes achmon alam, the white says the chatos. Shvamini chatos in midachini loy. Right? So now, in other words, what we're talking about, because the pasuk right before that says the meaning of meriko v'shtifo. Because it says, what's the Lashon pasuk? It says right afterwards in that pasuk, it says meriko v'shtifo. Meriko v'shtifo is really right in the same pasuk. So what he's saying, it says, and it still says the word chatos to tell you what chatos midachini loy, meaning there is a portion of that parsha refers to all kochim, which is meriko shtifo. That's what tell you chatos legabe going inside. They tell you to exclude the by going inside only applies to chatos and not to other kochim. So why did they tell you chatos? Because there is a part of the parasha belongs to all kochim. Meriko v'shtifo. So the Gemara say, "Halu damyo el talmid." You want to bring a mashal? Is the mashal that I have? Shemozog l'rabbi b'mechamin b'mitzayin. So he was pouring hot and cold. Amulatim zoig le'elechamin. So he's doing both. He tells him, I want him to do only one. So the pasuk is talking about all kochim. I want to tell you only one. So it makes sense that it's chatos. So how do you know all other kochim the guy going inside? So what's that time they have mechatos called chatos? No, I learned from the fact that it says the word koil. Tanyo chatos, ein li'ele chatos, koch kadoshim mina chatos, koch kadoshim. Davka chatos koch kadoshim, which means we're talking about chatos, which is el chatos. Koch kadoshim. I don't know all the koch kadoshim. Tomud loima kol chatos. Koch kali minayin tomud vechol chatos. So you have kol and vechol. You have two limudim. You could say as much as you want. I'm not listening to you limudim. Why? Of an individual. Chatos tzibur minayin. How do I know of the tzibur? Tomud kol chatos. Only a male. Chatos the kevin minayin. So it says the tell you also chatos the kevin. So more klapilaya. Klapilaya means where is it tilting to? Meaning you have to start with the kevo because tam chatos is in a kevo. Regular chatos or regular individuals in a kevo. And achkom only in the chatos the kevo. Chatos zocher minayin tomol v'chol chatos. It says v'chol chatos. Tosh when he asks over when we spoke about chatos tzibur is a zocher. So why do I need two? Question of Tosis. So basically, I call lach. Those who told me the post came for this. V'atayim esig lo'imer kol hakoyin kulei nom dabel aparim nisrofim v'sirim nisrofim. The part they have to burn, it's you have to burn. This pasuk we talk about it says kol chatas shehu v'domo. So we're learning it to talk about a chatas who was done wrong and went inside. It was supposed to be outside, went inside because possible. Basically, that's not the pasuk talking about. Talking about a chatas that was supposed to go inside. Chatas and nisrofim. But then it became possible. So usually you have to burn it outside of Yerushalayim. Now you're burning it in the Azar. And you're not allowed to eat it. That's what they're telling you. Kol chatash yuva doma oil moyed, we're supposed to, like we're supposed to. But if it became possible, you don't need it, they actually serve there. So we're not talking about chatos. What is even the answering Rabbi Akiva? It says, and they asked him, how do you know regular chatos? That's the different pasuk. The pasuk of Moshe Rabbeinu tells Aaron HaKohen in the Yom Shvini L'Miluim, why did you burn it? It didn't go inside. Not sure we go inside, you have to burn it. But this pasuk is not talking about regular chatos. So what we're basically telling, no, it tells Rabbi Akiva, it's talking about regular chatos, and I learned from you chatos yochid, and chatos, so the moral of the dvar of Rabbi Akiva Kalmar. I hold this pasuk is not talking about chatos at all. But according to you, that it is speaking about chatos, don't dash the way you're dashing, dash something else. So we have different sources to the machlekes. If regular kachim, not chatos, goes into the eichel, is a puzzle or not. So the Mishnah. Chatos shekibel dobo b'shnei kaisos. Chatos that was accepted in two different cups. Yotza echad ben l'chutz. One of them goes outside the cup. Hapnimi kosher. The inside one is not affected. But nichnas echad ben l'fnim. One of them went inside, which means a puzzle. Basically, so here you see the effect of one cup on another. They're all the blood of the same animal. If it goes outside one of the blood cups, the other cup is still good. It doesn't affect it. But if the cup goes inside, there's a machlekes if it affects the outside. Basically, he said, I'll tell you kavachem. Ma im b'mokom shamach shovo priselas b'chutz. Lo yasos mishur kayotze. We know, we learned it earlier in the Masechta, but at the beginning of the Masechta. Ya machshaves pigul, and machshaves chutz le mekoyme. What's what means? He's thinking, I'm going to throw the blood outside. What does it do to the korban? Possible. So thinking to do it outside makes the korban puzzle. Just think about it. But the Mishuyar, right? The Mishuyar is not affected. What does Mishuyar means? What does it mean is not affected? If I have two cups and one cup goes outside, the other cup is okay. That's where Rabbanan also agree. So mamachshava for the outside, bad. One cup going to the outside, good. So but when blood goes inside, there's no bad machshava going inside. We don't have such a thing. So a person is doing the blood, he's thinking, I'm going to put the blood inside. Doesn't ruin the korban. So machshava for inside is not bad. So of course the blood that goes in should not be a problem. Meaning, outside, thinking about outside ruins the korban. Taking one cup outside does not ruin. Thinking inside is not ruined, so kol sheken taking a cup inside should not ruin the korban. That's a kavachem. The Gemara is going to address kavachem in a moment. Nichnas techaper api shaloi kiper pasul divri ablos. It went into kapara, even though it did not. It's possible. That's what blood holds. Meaning, blood that went inside, with the intention to use it to throw it over there, even though it did not do it, it's possible. Shiva says no. You need to have an actual throwing of the blood inside in order to poison it. If it was done by mistake, it's kosher. We'll see in the Gemara in tomorrow's daf what it is. Any bad blood, the tzitz doesn't help except for Tomei. The tzitz works for Tomei, not for Yotze, and this also we'll see in that towards the end of the parak. Says the Gemara. Tanya, we're going to be focused now on this kavachem. Tanya Rabbi Segli Kavachim. Back to Kavachim. We're going to see now something which we see many times in Shas, especially Kachim. The Gemara is going to bring a four-way Kavachim for each one. Because right now, what we know is, we learn, bad thoughts work for the outside, but do not work for the inside. Blood that goes outside is not praise of the carbon. Blood that goes inside is praise of the carbon. Right? These are the four details. Meaning, blood going inside, not praise. Blood going out, that's detail number one. Detail number two, blood going outside. Sorry, blood going inside, praise of the carbon. According to one. Blood going outside, not praise of the carbon. Machshava to the outside, praise of the carbon. Machshava to the inside, not praise of the carbon. These are the four details. So we can do Kavachayim to try to see if it works. Let's learn from each other to change the din. Says the Gemara, Tanya Yeshiva Kavachayim. Uman b'mokor shemachshava poisels b'chutz loy posel dam sheb'chutz. Thinking about outside ruins it, but taking outside doesn't ruin it. Loy posel dam sheb'chutz b'fnim. Meaning that down outside doesn't posel b'fnim. Mokor shein machshava posel b'fnim. When the machshava doesn't work for the inside, ain't din shel yivsol dam sheb'fnim and sheb'chutz. So the dam inside should not be pushed to the outside. That's the Kavachayim written in the Mishnah. There's a pasuk. For example, when the blood goes inside his puzzle, it doesn't say sheyuvo domo, it says sheyuvo midomo. Even a little bit of the blood is placed in the carbon. Okay, so here we got a pasuk. But now let's do Kavachim to the other direction. Kavachim liyoytze meato. Let's go from here to liyoytze. Umam makom she'ein machshava poisel b'vnim. Bad machshava to the inside is not ruin the carbon. The blood inside plays the bechut because it says the pasuk. When the machshava is poisel outside, what is that? Machshava poisel is outside, meaning when you think about outside, so of course the blood outside should be poisel inside. Right? We're trying to do the other side of Kavachayim. The only thing that becomes possible is when it goes inside, not when it goes outside. Continue now to the other side of Kavachayim. Why is machshava not poisel? You know that when a person has a bad thought to do the outside, he ruins the carbon. He thinks about it inside, is not. Why not? The blood outside doesn't affect inside. Machshava poisel is b'chutz. The machshava does ruin it. When the blood goes inside, it does poisel outside. So of course machshava should work. So why machshava doesn't work? It says the pasuk by Mashlishi, Daf Base on base, Makoim Shemishulish Bedam B'Bosor B'Imun. It's the Rosh right before. A lot of shit isn't sure what exactly does it mean. Rashi learns that pshat has to be a place where you could potentially have a place to put the blood, the meat, the fat. Where do you have such a place? Outside. Why outside? When there was a bama, they put all three outside.
You can never eat the meat inside the hay. There's never a case where you can eat inside of the.
We have to go by you. Tell me what putting on his bath. So inside you could put the imurim, the basar if it's oil, and the blood. Outside as well. Why? Because outside in a bama you could have done it, but in the Kodesh Kadashi, in the Kodesh, you don't have basar imurim. You never put meat and fat on the mizbeach haprimi. So there's no machshava. That's the custom. It says in one of the last dimension of the Kavachayim. Machshava should not ruin outside because the Kavachayim. Right? The blood inside causes the blood out to be bad. The machshava still doesn't ruin it. The blood that goes outside doesn't ruin the inside. The machshava should not work. It's supposed to be saw earlier. From here, you learn shlishi thinking the wrong time, and people was thinking the wrong place. It's Yechezkel. So in other words, the Gemara said it doesn't make sense because it's not equal. In the inside, you have something more chomer and more kal. Machshava is kal. Going inside is more chomer. And the outside is the opposite. Machshava is bad, and going going outside is machshava is behind going outside is not paisel. So we try to do kavachim. Let's pull it in. Let's equate it. Let's make either the both inside should be the same or the both outside should be the same, and that's what we try all four options. We bring all four psukim. Says the Gemara now. Basar hayotzich lechutz pasul. Meat. Till we spoke about blood. If I have meat that goes outside, it's pasul. Hanikras lefnim. If it goes inside, kosher. Blood going inside ruins it, but meat not. Shayabedin choya kavachaymer shepasul. Uma mimokom shloi posal dam shebechutz et shebivnim. The blood outside doesn't ruin the bivnim kosher. Hayotzeh basar. Sorry. Hayotzeh lechutz pasul. Still, the meat going outside gets pasul. When the blood goes inside is pasul. So of course the meat going inside should be pasul. So that's the custom. Only blood goes inside ruins and not meat. Let's say now kavachim to the other direction. When you go inside, it ruins the blood outside. The boss doesn't ruin it. When you go outside, then it's okay. So boss should be kosher as well. The treifa says boss in the field treifa. That's what it means. Basade going out from its place. Nesar. So that's all psukim. You have kavachim, you have svaris, we have psukim against the kavachim. Says the Gemara. Torah Pnimo ein lielo pnimo. It says don't bring the blood inside. Maybe inside means inside. Meaning kodesh kodashim. Heichol minayin. Tomad loima ela kodesh pnimo. Going into the inside. Says the Gemara. V'yema kodesh v'ayimar pnimo. Say kodesh, don't say pnimo. I know that's the heichol. Meaning, no. If it says kodesh, I would think kodesh means kodesh kodashim. How do I know the kodesh means heichol? Because it says prima already, so I know kodesh kodashim. We have found a similar limud when we speak about toisha v'sochir. What's toisha v'sochir? Toisha is two different of avodim. There's an Eved who is let's see the Gemara. The Tanya toisha is a konu kinyoyla. That's someone who is Eved, which is nirtza and is there for 50 years. Sochir is a konukin shalim only for 6 years. Yema toisha v'ayom sochir, say one of them. He doesn't eat in trumo. Konukin shalim lekoshken. Why? Just speak about the longer period. Elaken iluken yomer toisha is a konukin shalim. Ala konukin oyom. Yeah, but if it says only one, I do not know what it means. Doesn't mean a 6-year one or 50-year one. I would say it probably means 50 years. But that's why I have two words, Sachir and Toisha, to tell you one is longer, one is shorter. So that it teaches they both don't eat. Now, so says the Gemara, the setting over here, I would not know what does it mean, primo. What does it mean, kodesh? It says primo. Something where that can't be. There's two different bodies. Even though you couldn't make it shorter, the din is meaning what? Till now, it goes like this. When I'm talking to you about nirtza, when I'm talking to you about Teisha V'Sachir, I could have been shorter. I could have written Nirtza. Nirtza means, to be very clear, talking about the longer period. So why do I say Teisha V'Sachir? I could have just write one word. Sometimes the Torah writes Kavachayers. Even so they could have learned the Kavachayer, Torah writes. But it's not repetitive. It's meaning it's two different things. Teisha V'Sachir. But Hocho came on the Ibsobeichol. Live night with the free my boy. Then over here, how do you get to the Kodesh Kodashim? Through the Eichel. So you say, we should know, Kodesh Kodashim is already possible. And the Eichel is also possible. So once I'm in the Eichel, it's very possible. So why are you not telling Kodesh Kodashim? It's not a Kavachayim, it's already included. Two separate entities, two separate bodies. I have this and this. If I know this, Koshka this, the Torah wrote it anyway. But here I can't reach the Kodesh Kodashim without going through the Eichel. So once they tell me Eichel, I don't have to tell you Kodesh Kodashim. So why would the Torah say both? It's not necessary. You're going through the Eichel anyway. Hello, so no, I'll tell you why. He may have gone to Kodesh Kodashim not through the Eichel. How? Derech Meshuposh. What does Derech Meshuposh mean? Rashi says he went through the roof. That's what Rashi brings. He went through the roof, different way. And that's how you get to it. The Taisus brings different pshatim. He argues with Rashi. One pshat is he came from Kodesh Kodashim from the lul. Remember, there's a lul, there's a door, and out of the side of Kodesh Kodashim to get in. In other words, he didn't go the regular way. You're right. If the only way to go and take Kodesh Kodashim is through the Eichel, you're right. You can't get there. But there is a way to get to Kodesh Kodashim not through the Eichel, and therefore that's where you two psukim. Says Abba means regular normal way to come in. Yuval Kodesh. Tell you what it is. The only problem by blood going in is if you have in mind to do kapara. If you don't have in mind to do kapara, there's no issue going inside. If he had in mind to do the kapara in Kodesh Kodashim, he's taking the blood of the chatos, so I'm not going to do the kapara on the Eichel. I'll do the kapara in Kodesh Kodashim. It doesn't become possible. Because, as the Rishonim pointed out, he didn't have in mind to do the kapara on the Eichel. You have to have in mind to do the kapara on the Eichel in order for it to be possible. So that's it. Someone had in mind to go to Kodesh Kodashim because possible. And even if he had in mind the Eichel, because the Eichel. It's not that you're going through the Eichel, be ready to keep possible, because if you didn't have in mind to do the Eichel, does not become possible. Says the Gemara, Boy Rav, Parayam Dovash Tzibur, Vesir Avos Kachavim, Sheichnis Domom Lifnai Velifnim Ma. Parayam Dovash Tzibur, they are done where? Inside, in the Eichel. Sir Avos Kachavim is done inside. What happens if he went to Kodesh Kodashim? We learned before regular chato is supposed to be outside. He went into the Eichel because possible. But he was supposed to be in the Eichel. And he went to Kodesh Kodashim. Was that possible as well? Is that including the pasuk or not? Because it's supposed to be inside. But it went in more inside. If the issue is going to Kodesh, so you have the issue going primo. If there's no issue going to Kodesh, because they're supposed to be inside, so there's no issue Kodesh Kodashim. Or maybe it's Shalom Yikayim. If you want to tell them, listen, it's not the right place. I have another question. What happened over here? The way Rashi learns is, in Yom Kippurim, he sprinkled blood in the Kodesh Kodashim. Then he's done. He went outside. Then he go back inside. You're not supposed to go back inside. You're done. Is that a problem? Is that possible? Or you say, but today I'm supposed to be here. So that's a Rashi. Rambam learns a little differently, but we'll leave that aside for now. So again, he did the Azos. Went to the Eichel. Went back in. Still, today you're supposed to be here. Once he went out, went out. He did once he went out. He did the pariches. He did stage number 2 of Yom Kippur. He sprinkled on the pariches. Now the pigim will die. Avoid tzelam mizbech v'chnisom. They went back in. Now the mizbech hazov and the pariches are all in the same room. It's called Yitzia. Torah calls Yitzia. Takeaway, goes very gishmak with a pshat that Reb Chaim Brisker brings, Raya from the Rambam, that in Yom Kippurim, the Kodesh Kodashim extends outside. The Heichel, first part of the Heichel, has a Gdush of Kodesh Kodashim. So going from the Pareches to the Mizbech Hazov is like going outside. So the question is, I was supposed to be here today. So that's not called a problem of Chatos, or it is not. Now, second question is the Pareches and Mizbech Hazov going to be one place or not? So Gomer, stop over here. Be'ez Hashem, continue tomorrow morning Shabbos morning at 8 a.m. Call too.